Okay, so
We're talking climatologists today.
these are the people you know who are figuring out all this climate change stuff.
Yeah.
Not just like...
Talking about it, but really like digging into it as a career.
Yeah.
And we found this really cool resource.
RoleCatcher. Got all this...
info on what it actually takes to be a climatologist.
Like what they do.
How you become one, the whole 9 yards.
It's a fascinating field, and actually
a lot of people
don't realize how much goes into it.
Right.
But I think
Picture
climatologists...
someone like looking at glaciers or something.
Right.
Analyzing weather patterns on a computer.
Yeah.
But it's so much more than that.
Okay, so...
Let's break it down then.
What does RoleCatcher say about...
What a climatologist actually does all day?
Well, the big thing is...
It's looking at the long game.
Well,
not just today's weather.
But like decades, even centuries of data.
Wow.
Temperatures, rainfall, all that
Help
stuff.
understand those big long-term trends.
So not...
Should I pack an umbrella? But more like, will Miami be underwater in 50 years?
Exactly.
Okay.
Got it.
And here's the thing.
RoleCatcher points out that field work is a huge part of the job.
Really?
Yeah. I thought it was...
All computer models and, like, data crunching?
Some of that, of course.
But these guys get their hands dirty, too.
Like what? Give me an example.
Think trekking through the Amazon.
No way.
Yeah. Collecting rainfall data or studying ancient ice cores in the Arctic.
What? That...
That's intense.
Not for everyone.
But it's definitely an adventure.
Okay, so they...
Definitely not what I was picturing.
But, okay.
So they're collecting all this data.
Analyzing it.
But, like, who are they actually working for?
That's the thing.
It's not just environmental agencies.
Really?
Yeah, RoleCatcher mentions all sorts of industries.
Construction companies designing buildings for future climate conditions?
Makes sense.
Agricultural businesses?
Adapting to changing growing seasons, even insurance companies.
Oh, yeah.
Figuring out risk in a world with more extreme weather. That's fascinating.
It's like climate change touches everything.
It really does.
And that's why you need experts who get it.
Who can connect the dots between the data and what it means for the real world.
Oh.
We've established they do important work.
And it's not just sitting in a lab all day.
But what does it actually take to become one?
What skills and qualifications do you need?
We'll dig into that right after this.
Yeah, so to answer your question about skills and qualifications, RoleCatcher makes it clear.
You need a good mix of, like, hard science chops.
Okay.
And surprisingly...
really strong communication skills.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have thought...
Top of the list for a scientist.
I think it's all about...
knowing your physics and your geography.
Right.
And don't get me wrong.
Those are absolutely essential.
Yeah.
You're going to need a solid foundation in stuff like...
physics, especially atmospheric physics, obviously.
Makes sense.
Geography, mathematics.
That's the core of it.
Yeah. Understanding how the climate system actually works.
Right. Like you're...
analyzing these complex systems.
Exactly.
Modeling future scenarios.
It's serious stuff.
It is. But here's the twist.
RoleCatcher really emphasizes this.
Being able to communicate your findings clearly and persuasively.
That's just as crucial as the science itself.
Really?
Yeah, because you could be the most brilliant climatologist in the world,
right?
But if you can't explain the urgency of climate change to policymakers,
to the public,
even to other scientists who might not be experts in your exact niche.
All right, they need to get it.
Exactly.
Your work might not have the impact it deserves.
It's like...
you're speaking a different language almost.
Kind of, yeah.
You need to be able to bridge that gap.
So how do you actually...
make that happen?
Like, what does RoleCatcher say about building a career in this field?
Well, they lay out
a pretty typical career path.
Okay, what's that look like?
So you might start as like an entry-level climatologist, assisting senior researchers.
Collecting data, analyzing stuff.
Maybe getting some field work under your belt.
So starting as part of a team.
Yeah.
Learning the ropes.
Exactly. And as you gain experience...
and expertise.
You move up to a climatologist role.
Oh.
More independence.
You're conducting your own research.
Developing climate models.
Oh.
Maybe even contributing to policy recommendations.
Wow, so you're already...
taking an impact at that level.
Potentially, yeah.
And
you reach the peak.
Senior climatologist.
The top of the mountain.
What's that like?
RoleCatcher highlights one senior climatologist.
Who's done it all.
Okay.
Published groundbreaking research.
Presented at international conferences.
Wow.
Even helped shape national climate change strategies.
That's amazing.
It is.
The impact they've made is incredible. incredible.
Yeah. To reach that level, to know your work is making a real difference.
It's inspiring.
It is, but the job market's tough.
Oh, yeah.
Even when you're passionate about something.
So what does RoleCatcher offer in terms of actually
landing a job in this field?
That's where their AI features come in.
Okay, tell me more about that.
So their AI actually helps you get a job.
That's the goal.
Okay. So how does it work?
So basically, they use AI to analyze tons of job descriptions, like a ridiculous amount.
And they use that to figure out
what employers are really looking for.
Okay.
Even those little keywords and phrases.
You might not think about.
So it's like having a cheat sheet.
Kind of.
Instead of guessing what they want to see on my resume.
I can use RoleCatcher to target it.
Exactly.
That's really cool.
I have this browser plugin called RoleCatcher Capture.
Catchy.
Right.
And you can save jobs from any job board.
Oh, that's handy.
Yeah, one click and it's saved.
I'm all about making the job search a little less painful.
Me too.
So how does this all connect back to climatology?
Good question.
So let's say you're looking for that perfect research job,
Mm-hmm.
or maybe you want to work for a government agency focused on climate policy.
RoleCatcher can help you tailor your resume
And your cover letter.
to highlight exactly what those employers are looking for.
So it's like giving your application a super boost.
Exactly.
Make it stand out.
Yeah, because it's not just about what you know.
Right.
It's about showing them you know it.
That's so true.
And that's what RoleCatcher's all about.
Using technology to make the job search smarter.
I love that.
And more effective.
This whole deep dive has been really eye-opening.
Oh, good.
I'm glad.
Like I said.
I pictured climatologists just like in labs or out in the field.
Right.
But you've really highlighted the importance of communication, networking, getting your research to the right people.
Absolutely.
That's how you make a real difference.
100%.
Well, if you're listening
and feeling inspired,
I say go for it.
Dive into the world of climatology.
It's a fascinating field.
Explore the possibilities.
And who knows?
Maybe you'll be the one presenting at those international conferences someday.
You never know. And don't forget to check out RoleCatcher.
Their resources sound incredibly helpful.
Definitely worth a look.
That's it for our deep dives into the world of climatology.
Until next time.
Keep those brains buzzing.